Please.
So, Hare Krishna to all devotees. We are starting this Vritrasura's prayers from today. We are going to be doing 4 prayers of Vritrasura, which comes in Srimad Bhagavadam, Canto 6, chapter 11, verses 24 to 27. Milal Mataji, you went through these prayers also?
No, I didn't go through this prayers,
Not the
Mataji.
prayers.
Just
Okay.
the story part, Leela part. Yeah,
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, coming to the next part of it. So, before we straight away delve into the verses, let us just briefly look at the story. It's a paradoxical devotee story. There's a legendary and thunderous battle going on between the Devas and the Asuras. And the Asuras have fled. But then there is a terrifying demon with a giant savage body who's standing completely alone. And he is none other than this very huge and ugly demon called Vritrasura. He is surrounded by enemies and he's facing Indra's invincible Vajrayudha. Actually, maybe he could have, slayed Indra. But instead of that, Vritrasura welcomes death as divine martyrdom. Instead of roaring a battle cry, it is unbelievable that this Asura, he turns his mind to Bhagavan and he utters just 4 of the most beautiful verses of pure prayer ever recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam. So among all the different prayers, Vritrasura prayers are very special. One of the reasons is they're really small and they're very, very meaningful. So behind this huge, ugly form of a terrifying demon who has a giant and savage body, there is a sweet, soft, melting heart. A devotee's heart is always sweet and soft. Non-devotees, whatever said and done, it is hard-hearted. Basically, non-devotees, they are hard. However much they do good things and whatever they are hard. They don't realize they are hard-hearted. Only when you become a devotee, your heart starts becoming sweet and soft and melting and able to love everyone. So, how did Vritrasura get there? Let's look at how Vritrasura got there. So, Vritrasura getting there is basically an orchestration of destiny. So, first of all, we'll only look at Vritrasura now. We are not looking at his previous birth. First, what he does is Indra, it begins with Indra. So, Indra, he disrespects his own spiritual master, Brihaspati. The exact story I am not able to remember. If someone remembers, you can intervene and say that. Anybody remembers? Sorry. Anybody remembers exactly the story of how Indra disrespects Brihaspati and loses his protection? Brihaspati gets angry actually. Anyone knows that particular story? Shiva Prabhu or Shanti Mataji? Who else is there? Anyone knows that story? Okay, exact story I cannot. Actually, I knew it, but I'm not able to remember exactly concept. Because Indra has done this disrespecting thing a few times, so I don't want to say till I'm very sure. Happy Guru Purnima, Shiva Prabhu. No Mataji, all right. Okay, so the second, after he disrespects Indra and he loses Brihaspati, goes away. So Indra, he appoints someone else called Vishwarupa as his new guru. But later on, again, exact story I don't remember. Later on, he commits the atrocious act of killing this Vishwarupa. Now, because Vishwarupa was killed, Vishwarupa's father, Twashta, he performs a powerful yajna to create an avenger. And Vritrasura, who has also got this body because of a curse, he is born from the fire, destined to overpower Indra and the Devas, and he becomes very powerful. And then and then there's a huge battle, and Bhagwan advises Indra to seek sage Dadichi's penance-laden backbone to forge the invincible Vajrayudha to kill Vritrasura. So all these things are happening, but and we will now also the next slide we will look at Vritrasura's previous birth, which is amazing. You know how he has 2 different big things happening in his life. And all this is orchestration of destiny. So let's look at what will happen in his previous birth. In this birth, this is how it happened. This is how Vritrasura meets his end with Indra, with that special Vajrayudha. And how Vritrasura says the four prayers before surrendering to death in front of Indra. So before taking on this body as of Vritrasura, in his earlier birth, he was a king called King Chitraketu. So if you look at the milestone one, he is King Chitraketu, who suffers terribly because he had a material desire for a child. So if you look at the two line graphs which are there, in the king, like he's in the highest point in terms of his material things, and you can see that he was wanting a child very badly. And then the whole story is that because he was all the time sad in spite of having everything. He had the most beautiful of wives, he had the greatest of riches, and he was, had all the comfort and luxury, but he was very, very sad. So when the sages came and Angirasa and Narada, when they came and they asked him what he wants, and then they perform a special. He said he wants a child, and they perform a special yajna, and he gets a child. But then they say that you're going to get a child, but the child is going to be the cause of the greatest joy for you and also the greatest sorrow. So he says it's okay, whatever it is, I want the child. That's how he gets a child, and who gives him so much of joy. The whole day and night, King Chitraketu is playing, fondling the child and enjoying the child. And from the queen who begot the child, he was, automatically giving her the most attention. And all the other queens were becoming very, very jealous. And because their jealousy, jealousy and these things, they grow when they go on, as the time goes by, and they don't allow it to subside. It grows and grows. So it grew to such a horrible height that they actually kill that child. All the other jealous queens, they kill the child. And King Chitraketu becomes absolutely heartbroken. So, in this height of his material desire, then the next milestone happens. When he's heartbroken and he's crying and unable to perform anything, again the sages, Angirasa and Narada, come for a second time. And then they advise him. There are also beautiful verses in Bhagavatam. They advise him, and he is still not able to console himself. So then Narada says that I will bring back the soul of this child, and you can talk to the soul. And there is an amazing prayer, you know, which is after during this point, which is not the one we are learning now. In that, the first there's a mini shloka, I mean to say, in which the first, when the soul of the child comes, and Chitraketu says, "Oh, my son," like he's saying, well, "Please come back," and all that. And then the soul of the child says, "Who are you?" She said, "I'm your father." He says, "Which father are you?" And he was shocked. "Yeah, I have had so many fathers and so many births." Like, actually, this it's a really shocking thing over here, because we've been in our present birth, we take our husband, our wife, and or our father, our mother, everyone to be, we take it like it's as if it's everything, but they're all temporary. Every birth we have new father, new mother, and everything changes with death. Everything is over, it's a full stop, and you start afresh. You forget everybody who is there in this birth, and you start a new thing in another body. It may not even be a human body. So the boy is saying, I've had so many fathers and so many mothers. Which father are you talking about? And then he's shows complete not at all wanting to come back into the body, and the father gets so shocked, and then he achieves vairagya and a darshan of Lord Sankarsana. So this is how he gets awakened. So King Chitraketu, he achieves awakening. So as you can see that how from material desire may he was in the lowest level of spirituality, and now you can see in the golden line it is rising up. So by this time his material desire has his spirituality has gone up, and his material desires are going away now as he is going, his soul, his journey is going on. And then comes a point, milestone 3 in his life, where he is Vidyadhara. in the body of Vidyadhara, he is roaming the different worlds and he's singing Hari's praises. So now in his next birth, he is taking up as Vidyadhara. He's become a pure devotee. So he is going the different worlds and he's singing Hari's praises. But there is one thing that is lacking in him, which is sadhu sangha and humility. So when he reaches, when he's got this power to travel anywhere. He was even able to come to Shivaloka. And when he reached there, he had a special chariot and all that. And when he reached there, he saw Shiva teaching the Bhagavatam to a group of devotees and all. They were all sitting and listening to him, and Parvati was sitting on his lap. And suddenly, he unknowingly, it was very innocently actually, just jokingly, he says, my goodness, you're teaching Bhagavatam and you have your wife on your lap. Whereas Shivji is an exalted devotee, Parvati is exalted. It's nothing, the being on the lap was actually nothing. But then he suddenly felt something, it is not okay, and he laughed and he criticized. And at that moment, as Vinal Mataji said in the beginning of the class, Parvati curses him to take on the body to have because of his behavior, which is more asuric, of laughing that way. He says it's better you have an asuric body. And that's how he gets cursed in milestone 4 of his life. He gets cursed by an enraged Parvati Devi and he had to accept the body of a horrible, big, ugly body of a demon. But the best part is he does not retaliate at all. He accepts that body with complete, pure humility. And by the time his spirituality has reached a height, it has now become Prema Bhakti. And there are beautiful verses where Shivji actually, he just glances at him and blesses him. Shivji has the power to give us prema bhakti. You will find many Prabhujis of ISKCON, they were great Shiva Bhaktas. They were, extremely high Shiva Bhaktas. And then they get blessed. Somehow they come into ISKCON because of Shiva's, blessing. So Shiva has a power. When you reach a point, Shiva is able to bless. So he blesses him with pure Krishna Bhakti. And then he attains that pure Krishna Bhakti where he is able to say a prayer at the face of his death when the Vajrayudha was going to, kill him. He doesn't cry out in pain or anything. He's able to recite 4 beautiful verses. So we can see the descent of the body when material desires and everything, it is going down, down the silver line. And initially he was a king and he was so opulent, and then he was, finally he becomes an asura in terms of body. But then you can see the ascent of the soul and how the soul, Krishna is actually guiding him from the heights of material desire and all that, and how slowly he reaches to the height of Prema Bhakti. Krishna is there in this journey with us, helping us. So this very beautifully actually, related in the 4 prayers of Vritrasura. It is defining, I don't know, I hope I'll be able to come to the prayers today. It's just 5:30, I hope we can do Brahma Samhita also. So we are looking at how these 4 verses which Vritrasura will recite as the 4 aims of life redefined in a very beautiful way. Can somebody read the first 2 lines so that it's not only me talking? Tamil Mataji, would you
Hare
like
Krishna.
to, Anishri Mataji, please read? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Redefining the 4 aims of life. Standing on the battlefield, Vritasura strips away the material definitions of human existence. Through 4 verses, SP 6.11.24 to 27, he reveals the ultimate aims of a soul on the path of Bhagavad Dharma.
Yes, thank you so
Dharma,
much. Yeah, please
yes.
continue.
Dharma, duty and righteousness, verse 24. Artha, wealth and prosperity, verse 25. Kama, desire and pleasure, verse 26. And moksha, liberation and freedom, verse 27.
Minal Mataji, have you raised your hand to say something?
I'll tell it later, Mataji, maybe. I have raised it for the other class, Rashmi Mataji's class. But the one
Oh,
more thing
okay.
is there. Bhagavad Gita is also starting, Mataji, from Monday.
Yes,
So
yes,
we'll have to
Mataji.
check on that point. Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay, okay. So you let me know whatever changes we can do for the routine, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
But I think 5 to 6 slot is free only, na, anyway, for us.
But we'll have the recitation, no, Mataji?
Oh, yeah, we have
Bhagavad Gita.
recitation, correct. Oh, yeah, 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 of course.
Mm. So
Okay,
that will cut
Mataji.
out what all, I don't know. Hare Krishna.
That is what we'll do. Okay, we'll plan. Let's see. I don't know what we'll do. Okay, but maybe from 5:10 to 5:30 alone we can do, no? Or whenever there's a short chapter, we can do both quickly. We just quickly read the
Yes.
Vritrasura prayers and Brahma Samhita prayers. Can do like that.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So in these 4 verses, we're going to see a whole new definition of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Usually, when we come to devotion, when we come to Vaishnava, path, we don't look at this path of dharma, artha, kama, moksha in the most pleasant way because we are not interested in moksha, right? So we don't want to look at dharma, follow the path of doing all our duties and getting some wealth and getting all our desires and then getting liberation. That is not the path we are looking to. But you will see how Vritrasura defines these same 4 things in the most amazing way. Having a totally different outlook. He shows it as Bhagavad Dharma. So we'll begin with verse 24. We'll do all 4 verses hopefully before we go to Brahma Samhita. I'll try to be fast. Hare Krishna. So today, shall I only chant or you want to repeat? Today, shall I only do the chanting?
You only do, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
today I'll do, the next time we can all repeat and try learning. So the first verse 6.11.24 is a redefinition of dharma, the first path to righteousness. Aham hare tava padaika dasan daso bhavitasmi bhuyaha मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीत वा कर्म करोतु कायः. So here aham is I, hare is O my Lord, tava is of your lordship, pada eka mula, whose only shelter is a lotus feet. So he says that I am, my only shelter is Krishna, your lotus feet. And Dasanudasa, and I am the servant of your servant. Bhavitasmi, I want to become, I shall become the servant of your servant. Bhuya means again. Then the next line, so Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuya, again and again, I only would desire to be the servant of your servant. And then he says, Mana Smareta. So he says, Mana, my mind, Smareta, may please remember, Asupate, the Lord of my life. Asupate means, the Pate means husband or Lord, and Asu is life. So Asupate is the Lord of my life. Gunan, the attributes, they of your Lordship, Grinita may chant. And then may I just keep on chanting the gunas, all your gunas, I want to be always chanting through my vak. Vak means words. I want to be using my words for chanting. Karma, through my activities. So vak, karma, both of them, I want to karotu. May I please perform? So he's going to use his mind, mana. In the beginning he says mana. Then he says vak, words, karma. Everything I want to be put it in yours, karotu. May I perform kaya with this body. So it's such a beautiful verse where he's saying, Oh Bhagavan, the exact translation as per Srila Prabhupada, I'll read it from here. It says, Oh my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. My words should only always glorify those attributes of yours, and my body should always engage in the loving service of your Lordship. So this verse actually is a sum and substance of the entire bhakti life of a devotee. So he's basically saying, Oh Lord, please let me be born repeatedly as a servant of a servant of a servant of those who consider themselves to be the dust of your lotus feet. He's not even saying, Make me the dust of your lotus feet. He wants to serve those who are, at the lotus feet of the Lord. He says, Oh Lord of my life, let my mind think of you, let my words be used for you, let my actions be used for you. So यहाँ पे धर्म or duty takes a whole new definition. Instead of talking about dharma as your duty in this material world, he's talking about the true dharma of a devotee, which is not about societal obligations or different rigid rituals. It is a life of uninterrupted, humble, divine service to Bhagavan's devotees, not just in this life, but birth after birth. He's not saying, I want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. He's not saying, I want to go to, Vaikuntha. He's not saying, I want to go to, the Brahma, that Brahma Jyoti and become one with the Brahma, the light, and like the yogis want to be. Nothing. He's not desiring anything. He just life after life. He's saying that I want to be the Dasanudasa and I want to just do humble service of Bhagavan's devotees. That is his prayer. That is the highest dharma that he's praying for. That is the first verse. Shall we move to the second verse, 25? So in verse
Yeah.
25,
Yes.
Hare Krishna. In verse 25, he is going to redefine Artha. So dharma he has redefined, given it a whole new definition. Now Artha, let's see. I'm reciting the verse first. न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे. So here na is not Naka Prishtham is heavenly planets or Dhruvaloka, all those great planets. Na, I don't want to go. Nor Cha also Parameshtham. I don't want to go to the planet. The Parameshtham is about the planet of the Brahma. I don't want to go all the way to the topmost material planet also. Na, nor Sarva Bhaumam. I don't want to become a king of the whole earth planetary system. Bhaumam is earth and Sarva is all. I don't want to become the king, sovereignty, have the sovereignty over all the planetary system. Na, nor Rasa Adhipatyam. And even with the lower planetary systems, Rasa means all those lower Adhipatyam, the lower planetary systems also, I don't want to become the king of and rule over there. Na, nor Yoga Siddhi. And I don't want to get the 8 mystic powers, Anima, Laghima, Mahima, and all those which you get after doing Ashtang Yoga and then you achieve moksha, go into the Brahma, this one, transcendental bliss. I don't want that also. I don't want to get all these yogic powers. Apuna Bhavam. He says, liberation from rebirth in a material body, even that, va or samanjasa, O source of all, samanjasa is a source of all opportunities. Tva, you, virahya, being separated from kankshe, I desire. So he says that I don't want what he says. That let's read the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Oh my Lord, who is the source of all opportunities. So when he says samanjasa, he's referring to Krishna, who is the person who gives all opportunities. He says, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or planet where Brahma resides, nor do I want to be supreme ruler of earthly planets, or be the supreme ruler of lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation. If I have to give up your lotus feet. So I don't want to give up your lotus feet and do all these things. I want to have only the wealth of Bhagavan. So he gives a whole new definition to wealth. He talks about being at the lotus feet of Bhagavan as wealth. So he says, Oh Bhagavan, I do not wish to attain exalted worlds like Dhruva I do not want to attain highest world of Brahma, Satya Loka, nor do I even desire liberation, cycle of birth of that. All I want of Krishna is to see you and be in your presence and always be able to remember you. So the wealth is Bhagavan. So Artha ke liye there's a new definition which is being with Bhagavan. The devotee rejects sovereign rulership, mystic yoga, siddhi, heavenly planets, and even liberation, finding ultimate value only in being in the Lord's presence by always keeping Krishna in the mind. So that is all the wealth that he wants. So he redefines Artha. In the third verse, which he is going to redefine desire. So desire itself, usually kama is the fulfilling of all material desires. So here he gives a new definition to kama. He says, Ajata paksha matarang khagaha संयन्तथा वत्सरः क्षुधार्थाः प्रियं प्रियेव Yushitam Vishanna Manoravindaksha Didrikshate Tvam. So he says Ajata Paksha, who have not yet grown wings. Ajata Paksha is wings. Ajata is not yet grown. Eva like Mataram, the mother. Khaga, small birds. Then he says, Tanyam, the milk from the udder, Yatha, just as Vatsara, the young calves, Kshuda Artha, distressed by hunger. Then he says, goes higher still, and he says, Priyam, the husband or beloved, Priya, the wife or lover, Eva, like Yushitam. Yushita means who is away from whom, Vishanna is morose. And then he says, Mana, my mind, Aravindaksha, O lotus-eyed Krishna, O Aravindaksha, Didrikshate means having the strong desire to see Tvam, you. So it's so beautiful. He says, Oh lotus-eyed Lord, just as baby birds that have not even ajata paksha, they've not even small birds, they have no helpless they have not even developed their wings. And they are eva mataram khaga, and they are looking for their mother. Okay, mataram is mother, the mother khaga bird. To return and feed because they're helpless, they can't get food or nothing without mother birds. Then how the baby birds with their mouth open, longing for the mother bird. And then he says, as small calves who are tied with ropes and they wait anxiously for the time of milking. When they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, how the baby calf is just waiting to drink its mother's milk from the udder, stanyam from the mother, yatha, just as. Vatsa is a young baby calf. He is Shuddha Artha, distressed by hunger, how much he is longing for that milk of his mother. Or the third higher, he says, as a morose wife, the wife is so morose, Vishanna means morose, whose husband is away. So husband is Vishitam, is away. Husband is Priya. The Priya is Vishitam, is away from home. And then, she is longing to see him. So this is a Vipralambha Bhava, which he is actually talking about, which in our Brahma Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya, all devotees are in the Vipralambha Bhava. So that bhava is the highest bhava when it is a lover who feels separation from his beloved. That feeling of longing is supposed to be a greater joy. We don't know, we can't understand how, than the joy of meeting the lover, actually. The joy of separation is supposed to be of a higher level than the joy of meeting. Very difficult for us to understand looking at that pain as joy, but that Vipralambha bhava is that. It's supposed to be highest, in bhakti and satisfied. So he says that whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. So how she is waiting for him to come back and satisfy her, that yearning, and he's saying that I am always yearning in the same way for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. So this is a desire level of the bhakta. So he gives a whole new definition of desire. He says, Oh Bhagavan, I yearn for you like a completely helpless, just hatched little fledgling bird. I yearn for you like a calf that has been tied with a rope of grass and, for the milk of the mother. I yearn for you like a chaste, loving wife or a lover who is waiting for her beloved or husband. So the anatomy of verse 26 is the evolution of prema. Initially, the fledgling bird in our initial bhakti stage, you're compared to fledgling bird, utterly helpless, newly hatched. You need physical nourishment and survival from a mother who you don't know that mother. You're just born, and then you know that you're waiting for that mother who's unknown. Then later, then he talks about the tied calf. You're bound by a rope and you're desperately struggling to break free and reach your mother's udders. The expectation is he knows its mother. He knows that my mother is standing there and he expects active love and nourishment, but believes mistakenly it is firmly bound. Actually, what they say is all these elephants and cows and all, when they are tied up, they don't know that they have enough strength to pull away and go. Just because they're tied up, they think that they're tied and they can't go. So they are mistakenly, they just, don't even try because they feel that they are tied so tight, strongly. And the higher level is the loving wife, where the state is the unbound, capable, willingly choose to wait. They are choosing to wait, you know. And expectation is they desire nothing, not any gift or anything, just the loving presence of their lover. That's all they desire. So Vritrasura progresses through different metaphors from until he hits upon the highest state of prema bhakti, which is the gopi bhava. So this terrifying asura is harboring the tenderest and the most empowered gopi bhava. That height of prema is what he is, he achieves in this verse. So he gives a whole new definition of desire of kama in this, which is prema bhava for Krishna. And the last verse of Vritrasura prayers, there are only 4 verses, goes like this. It's talking about a new definition for moksha or liberation. He says, ममोत्तमश्लोकजनेषु सख्यं संसारचक्रे भ्रमतः स्वकर्मभिः त्वन्माययात्मात्मजदारगेः श्वासक्तचित्तस्य न नाथ भूयात्. The words sound a bit tough, but if we go and try and understand word to word, it's fine. Mama is my. Uttama Shloka Janeshu means among devotees who are attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we know, Uttama Shloka means God Himself, and Janeshu is the devotees who are attached to Krishna. Sakhyam, friendship. Sakhyam is friendship, and Samsara Chakra is in the cycle of birth and death. Brahmata, who am wandering. Swakarma bhihi, by the result of my own fruitive activities. We are wandering in cycle of birth and death. Why? Because of our own fruitive activities. So Swakarma bihi brahmata, I am roaming about in the cycle of birth and death by my own fruitive activities. Then he says, Svat mayaya, and by your external energy, Atma to the body, Atmaja, children, Dara, wife, Yeheshu, and home, Asakta, attached, Chittasya, whose mind, Na, not Natha, O my Lord, Bhuyat, may there be. So he's saying that, O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. And therefore I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is what is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Please let my mind and my consciousness and everything be attached only to you. That is the liberation he's seeking. He's seeking attachment to Krishna and to Krishna's devotees. He's actually asking for sadhu sangha in this. In this verse, he's pleading for sadhu sangha by saying, by using the word um, sakhyam and by saying uttama shloka janeshu sakhyam. I want to be the friends and in the company of devotees. Which is, oh Bhagavan, please bless me always with the company of your devotees, and please do not ever give me association with those who are attached to the world and its bonds. So here he is talking about the Bhagavata's path of liberation. True moksha is not just escaping the cycle of rebirth. So we'll often see people saying, oh my God, I don't want another birth. So that's why I'm doing Krishna consciousness. But then true freedom is found exclusively in sadhu sangha. So he's not worried about getting another body as long as he's in the company of devotees and free from dussanga. And please don't give me association of people who are worldly, who are attached to wife, family, home, and all that. Give me only association of devotees. So that is the definition of liberation. So all the 4 purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, which in traditional sense is dharma is following the rigid rituals and all societal obligations as per your varnashrama dharma. And artha is then you next step is you get financial gain, you become a ruler or you get heavenly planets and you get artha in different ways. And then kama, and therefore all your pleasures will be fulfilled and sensory gratification happens. And ultimately moksha, and then there is no more rebirth and then merging into the absolute Brahman. So instead of this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, Vritrasura gives a Bhagavad dharma, which is given on golden in the left side, in the right side. So he says that my dharma is that I want to be servant of devotees. My artha is I just want you. I just want to reject Dhruvaloka, Satyaloka and everything. I just want only Bhagavan. That is my artha. And kama is his extreme desire, vipralamba bhava, how gopi experiences prema, that height of prema, that desire, pure yearning for Lord's presence. That is the definition of kama as per Vritrasura. And then moksha is not being, liberated and going into the Brahman effulgence, but instead just having sadhu sangha, association of pure devotees, so that he is he is always away from those who are not, sadhus, those who are not, attached to Krishna but are attached to worldly things. He doesn't want that. He says, I want freedom from asat sang. Asat sang se mujhe mukti chahiye. I want to have only sadhu sangha. That is what he desires. So this is how, with that we come to the end of today's Vritrasura prayers. A devotee accepts any condition, whether he go to hell or whatever. And then Krishna, actually the punishments here, he knows that whatever punishments, you can see in this beautiful chariot in his, when Chitraketu in his next birth, when he gets his beautiful chariot, he is going around praying, and you can see how he gets cursed by Parvati in this picture from Bhagavatam. And these curses or punishments are actually cleansing. The curse burned away Chitraketu's final sin of apachara. He's having, some amount of pride in his, in his reaching that height of spirituality. And the blessing is Lord Shiva. He sees the unalloyed devotion in Chitraketu's heart and blesses him with his divine glance, and he bestows pure Krishna Prema Bhakti to him. And the takeaway is that what appeared to be a tragedy, to get such an ugly, horrible body, was perfectly orchestrated by Bhagwan Krishna himself. And the curse did not ruin the devotee, but instead it accelerated his journey home back to Godhead. So, armed with the, somebody can read this verse, this slide. So with that, we'll end the Vritrasura.
Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Please
Mata.
go ahead.
Hare Krishna. The shattering of the vessel, armed with the invincible Vajra Yuddha,
Vajra Ayudha.
Indra strikes down the Vajra Ayudha. Thank you. Indra strikes down the terrifying Asura on the battlefield. But this too was part of Bhagavan's ultimate design. The Asura body was merely a temporary, fearsome vessel. It was meant to be shattered so that the cleansed, pure soul of Vritrasura could finally be released, giving up his body. Vritrasura attained his beloved Lord, ultimate and deepest desire. Hari Bhaktas do not care what body they are born in as long as their bhakti remains untainted. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, it was so beautifully explained. Mataji, those 4 verses at a stretch, can you sing and give it right now, Mataji, so
Yes,
that
yes, sure,
it's
Mataji. I'll just
recorded
share
with the
once.
thing?
You want me
Hare
to
Krishna.
share also the slide while I'm reciting? Yeah, I'll share also one.
Yes, Mataji.
So beautiful, Mataji. Thank you so
So
much.
beautiful,
Nice, no?
goosebumps we
Just
had.
4 verses and they're
Too
so
good,
nice.
Mataji.
No? Yeah.
Deep,
So well
deep
you
the
have
meaning
explained
is.
it, Mataji.
I actually started trying to learn. I had rooted in the wall and I was trying to learn. I learned only the first verse, that too not properly. But I'm glad to get the opportunity to learn it with all of you. So let's start with the verse 24. Verse 24 goes, Aham Hare Tava Padaika Mula Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuyaha Manah Smarita Supate Gunamste Grinitava Karma Karotu Kaya Nanakapristham Nachaparamishtham न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे अजातपक्षा इव मातरं खगाः तन्यं यथा वत्सतराः क्षुधार्ताः प्रियं प्रियेव व्युषितं विषण्णा मनोरविन्दाक्षदिदृक्षते त्वाम् ममोत्तमश्लोकजनेषु सख्यं संसारचक्रे भ्रमतः स्वकर्मभिः त्वन्माययात्मात्मजदारगेः श्वासक्तचित्तस्य ननाथ भूयात्. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Koti
Thank
pranam,
you so much
Mataji.
for the
It's
Koti
opportunity.
Koti
wonderful,
Pranam
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
It's so
Hare
nice,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Koti Koti Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
It's
Krishna
almost
Mataji, Koti
time,
Koti
no?
Pranam.
Oh my God, it's almost
Yes, it's
time.
time,
We
Mataji.
Brahma Samhita
Yes,
we didn't
Mataji.
find any time. But tomorrow we'll do
But
this Vritrasura
Mataji, we can
quickly.
do, yeah. Now, tomorrow we can just do the prayers and Brahma
Yeah.
Samhita, no? We can
Tomorrow
just
we'll do just the
you
prayers.